Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Elimination Chamber review for this Sunday night, February the 23rd, 2014. Before I start this review, I want to say best wishes and prayers, thoughts going out to Jake the Snake Roberts. He just revealed he has a cancer scare. He's getting emergency surgery to remove a cancer tumor on his knee. So best wishes to you, Jake the Snake. I hope you be healthy enough to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony. So best wishes to you, Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, on with my thoughts on the pay-per-view. The good news, Wyatts+Shield was just a fucking amazing. Probably the best match of the night was those two guys. And there's some decent action tonight. But in the words of Wade Barrett, who we saw a lot tonight, he needs to wrestle again. Wade Barrett needs to wrestle again. Well, in the words of Barrett, I've got some bad news. D-Boy got screwed again. Come on, man. And the fans at the end, those faces said it all right there. Those fans' faces said it all. But I'm not going to be as complaining as I was during the Woman match. You know, I understand I got plans for D-Boy, but it's like the fans, the real fans, don't want D-Boy against Kane. And of course, we all found out, unfortunately, who is going to be the WrestleMania main event. And I love that WWE is going to put on a guy who was booed out the building, and a guy who was named, who was chanted, a woman's body part tonight. And I'll get to those things in a moment. Despite that, I was debating about how to rate this pay-per-view. Rating this 7.0, higher than a Rumble because there was some decent action tonight. You know, Baron. This is a more exciting event of the weekend. Despite the little finish of the main event, there was some decent action tonight. Better than any other entertainment event this weekend. UFC. Anyway, 7.0 pay-per-view. Let's get on down with the card. Starting with your pre-show match, we have Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Rhodes brothers. Second pre-show in a row these two are on. Taking on WYAXEL. Curtis Axel on my back. Along with, and this is a good moment because the pay-per-view was in Minnesota tonight. Curtis Axel's grandfather, Larry the Axe Henning, was in the corner of WYAXEL tonight. That was great to say Larry the Axe Henning. Got a big ovation from the fans. Like I said, this is Minnesota, home of the Hennings. So this pre-show match, was pretty good. You know, decent opener for the event. You know, pretty good pre-show card. Goldust and Cody Rhodes just came in like a house of fire. They were trying for redemption. You know, they lost the tag team titles last month at the Royal Rumble pre-show. And now they're on the second pre-show in a row, like I said, taking on the team of RYBAXEL, no longer tag team champions. They needed a win to redeem themselves. It was like redemption for them tonight. So we saw Ryback and Axel come flying back. Ryback just destroyed Goldust until, of course, Ryback's partner Axel coming in. He was trying the perfect plex. It would never been awesome to see the perfect plex tonight, at least be done once. But after the done on Goldust tagged in Cody Rhodes, got the hot tag, started kicking everybody. He did do a disaster kick to Ryback. He did do the disaster kick. Tried to do the disaster kick on Curtis Axel, but I think Axel missed the disaster kick. But indeed, there was great action there. Until, of course, Ryback's partner was trying to get back in the waist as Ryback was taken down by Goldust outside the ring, railing him big time against the guardrail. Axel was trying to go for a springing neck breaker. Cody Rhodes countered it into the crossroads and 1-2-3 victory for Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Kind of a redeeming win for him tonight. 2.2 out of 5. You know, decent action to begin the pay-per-view tonight. Now, on with the main card of this pay-per-view tonight. Of course, need to mention before I get to the main card. This is the last pay-per-view I'm buying with the cable company. Especially not only is Comcast dropping WWE pay-per-views, thank God I'm getting rid of Comcast, but I'm getting a WWE network. You know, like all these people who are going to be complaining about the main event tonight, the ending, about D-Boy getting screwed again, me included, are going to suck up and get the pay-per-view network, you know? You know, like I said, you know, I'm not as whiny as I was last month. You know, the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, I was really ranting up a storm. I'm going to say my little ranting piece, but I'm not going to be as angry as I was at the Rumble. You know, I am disappointed still that D-Boy didn't win the title again tonight, but you know, things happen. Let's get on with the main card, which kicked off with the Intercontinental Championship match involving Jack Swagger taking on Big E. That's it. No longer Big E Langston. They dropped the Langston. It's just Big E. Pretty decent match here between these two to kick off the pay-per-view main card. Very power wrestling. You know, these two guys are very tough and strong. And there was like a couple of decent spots in this match. One of my favorite spots was when Jack Swagger was up against the wing post. And Mr. Big E just whammed himself against the steps. Like, here's Swagger at the post, between the post and the steps outside, and just Big E just whammed it, came in like a freight train, just bang right to Swagger in that corner and just whammed the big impact with the steps and the post at the same time. Kind of a big impact. That was a cool little spot there. But then after that big physical punishment dealt by Big E, Swagger, with the help of his man, Coulter, no slapping involved in this one. Swagger did have the advantage in the later half, deliver some big moves, trying to do a Swagger bomb. He did have the Patriot lock, Patriot act a few times locked in. But indeed, Big E, when they get the big ending, as Swagger was setting up another attempt at the big time event, the Patriot lock, Big E counted out of it with a big insecurity kick, getting out of the Patriot lock, setting up the big ending, and a 1-2-3 victory for Big E. 3.0 out of 5. It was a very power wrestling match. Just very power, like a big. It was a brawl between these guys. You know, big smash mouth wrestling style. And we would see the first of many appearances from Bad News Barrett tonight. We saw his little platform up in the air, making fun of you know, Americans for losing the medal count in the Olympics. You should have made fun of the fact that NASCAR Daytona 500 was delayed 6 hours. And it finally ended. Dale Earnhardt Jr. winning, if you care about NASCAR. Anyway, and then later on we saw Barrett come in after every other match. The guy then came in after the Wyatts+Shield match. His platform didn't go up. He even made fun of that. He was like, I hate Minnesota. You know, they suck because my platform won't go up and down. Because it went up the first time, but then after the match against Big E and Swagger, the platform just stayed on the ground because it wouldn't go up again. Now on to the next matchup. The WWE Tag Team titles on the line, as the Road Dogg, Jesse James, and the Badass, Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, were defending the Tag Team titles against Jimmy and Joe, the USOS. I like both these teams. I kind of had a little bit of high hopes for this main event, for this little matchup between these two teams. I had a little bit of high hopes because I love both these teams. I knew that these two were going to put on a good match. It did, but it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be, but it still was a decent, exciting little matchup. But not the excitement I was hoping for. Wyatts+Shield lived up to that hype. Anyway, New Age Outlaws were kind of like trying to play out. Basically, their strategy was to ground the air attack of the USOS, because they knew the USOS are high-flying guys, and, well, the old saying goes, age beats youth, and age brings wisdom. And their wisdom was trying to avoid all the big high-flying splashes and high-action, octane action of the USOS. We saw Road Dogg avoid a big kick and a big flying move off the top rope. He even pulled Billy Gunn out of the corner as he was about to get splashed later on by Jay. After Jimmy, I think the complexion of the match changed after Road Dogg slingshotted Jimmy against the wing post. And Jimmy let it hard on his knee against the post. He just sling hard. I think it was kind of a botch. It looked like a botch to me. But it was just, Road Dogg was slingshotting him to that corner, and Jimmy just hit hard. He hurt his hamstring. I don't know if it was legit or not, but it did look legit. After Jimmy got whammed hard against that post, and that changed the complexity of the matchup. First fight that Jimmy came flying back with his big high-flying moves. Until, of course, he got a big tag in the Jay, and Jay was trying to win back the team as he was high-flying his butt off. The Billy Gunn, I think Billy Gunn was getting set up for the big corner splash by Jay, but then Billy Gunn got pulled out by Road Dogg, and then Road Dogg got jumped on anyway. And when Jimmy's still out with this little hamstring injury, Jay had to fight the match basically on his own against Billy Gunn. You know, he did a big splash move. He was going for a big frog splash. He landed back on his feet because Billy Gunn jumped out of it. The ending, after that missed frog splash, Road Dogg was on the apron. Got a big kick from Jay, taking his eye off the ball. And thanks to a little bit of distraction from Road Dogg getting a kick from Jay. Jay got rolled up by Billy Gunn. 1, 2, 3, victory for the New Age Outlaws. Retain the tag team titles. I think USOS should win the titles eventually. You know, because I like both these guys. I didn't care who won this match because I like both these guys. But I think New Age Outlaws, I think they're going to have the titles until at least before or at WrestleMania. They're either going to lose before Mania or lose after Mania. Because I think they want big promotion for the WWE Network to have these old legends be champs again for the launch of the WWE Network. Be good promotion for the network with these Attitude Era guys being champions again. Big advertisement for the network. But I think they're going to lose them before Mania or at Mania. I was trying to make this match, but I'll give this match a 2.5. I was going to give it 3.0, but it was an exciting match, but it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. But still a decent match no matter what from the New Age Outlaws and Usos Iceman rematch down the road, whether it's tomorrow on Raw or even before or after Mania or at Mania. That's what I'm saying. New Age Outlaws will lose the tag team titles. Specifically, probably to the Usos by or at Mania. Now, on with the next matchup. Titus O'Neil taking on Darren Young, the former members of the Primetime Players. I love these two guys as a tag team. It's sad that they had to break up. I think they were forced to break up. And this match was kind of a filler match. You know, it was like the bookend between New Age Outlaws and Usos, and also between that match and the Usos. And the match and the Shield and Wyatts match. So this match was kind of an okay match. You know, Titus O'Neil is just too strong. You know, I think Titus is going to be the breakout star here. Because when teams break up, like the Rockers, they always use an analogy about when a team breaks up, who's going to be the Shawn Michaels of the group, and who's going to be the Marty Jannetty. The more successful one, and the least successful one. I think the more successful one's going to be Titus Young. He's going to be the Shawn Michaels of the group. And Darren Young's going to be the poor Marty Jannetty. Because I remember when Miz and John Morrison broke up, Miz called John Morrison his Marty Jannetty. And unfortunately, that was true. Miz was more successful. He was a former champion. Now look at Miz. He got married to Maddie. Congrats to him on that. It was on pre-show tonight. He didn't bitch about it like he always been doing as of late about not being on the show. Speaking of that, I heard a lot of "We Want Ziggler" chants. Speaking of people bitching about not being on the show, I wish Ziggler was on the show. No Lesnar tonight either. That's spoiler alert. No Lesnar. Maybe tomorrow. Anyway, especially with Edgar coming back, setting up that match, a lot of Mania matches are getting built. You know, a lot of like build up for Mania matches are starting tonight. You know, the build up for Taker Lesnar may start tomorrow. But a couple other matches got built up specifically in the chamber match and during the chamber match. But Titus and Darren Young was okay little matchup. You know, Titus Young with his big muscular moves, his beat up. It was like a beatdown of Darren Young. Darren Young tried to make a comeback. But he got fed to the big move known as the Clash of the Titus. Despite a comeback attempt, 1, 2, 3 victory for Titus O'Neil. 2.0 out of 5. Like I said, it was just an okay little matchup. Nothing special. Just filler. I know it was already announced like a week ago, but it's like, you know, it was like a bookend. Now on to, a lot of people will agree on this one. Match of the night right here. Wyatts against the Shield. Of course, Bray Wyatt, Harper, and Warren Wyatt taking on Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Now, in my own opinion, they should have saved this match for WrestleMania. I said that when this match was first announced. I know everyone's been wanting the Wyatts+Shield, but can you only have imagined Wyatts and Shield at WrestleMania? That would have been just epic. You know, the build-up would have been more epic than this. You know, the match was epic, but it could have been more epic if it was at Mania. I know they have plans for Bray Wyatt against Cena, but can you only imagine if this match was at WrestleMania? But no matter what pay-per-view it was on, the match was awesome anyway. I knew these two, and I knew two things. One, the Shield was going to carry the match because they're the more wrestling type. And two, it was going to be a war. I was one of both those. Although I give Wyatt's credit. They did some good moves tonight. But it was just an all-out brawl. It was just intense. Like, the beginning was, like, the first 5-10 minutes was kind of slow. But then once it got rolling, it just got rolling. Just spot after spot. It was just intense. Smash mouth, in your face, physical, violent action between these two teams. They started off brawling before the referee officially started. Like all 6 men were in the ring, just brawled until they finally broke it up to have one guy from each team start. Like Roman Reigns is like supposed to be the big guy of the Shield, but I think Seth Rollins was an MVP tonight. There was some awesome spots, mostly involving Seth Rollins. My favorite spot was when Harper was on the top rope. He was ready to go for a belly-to-back suplex on Seth Rollins. And as he did it, Rollins landed successfully back on his feet after the attempt. That was a cool little spot with Rollins. That was a cool little spot. And then it just, like I said, it was just brought up. We all knew it was going to break down to an all-out brawl, which it did. With another big spot with Rollins. Rollins did a big fly move off the top rope, just landed on top of Harper. Big splash move, landing on top of Harper. And it was just smash mouth action, just brawls, near fall. It was just intense. The crowd was split. We heard, let's go Wyatt, let's go Shield chants. And Roman Reigns basically turned the match around for the Wyatts. Turned the match around for the Shield. After the Shield, like both guys, it was back and forth between these two teams. Wyatts took control, Shield had control. It was just all out. It was just a big fight, big war between these two teams. And it went down to only one guy in the Shield. Of course, the Shield likes to play the numbers game 3-on-1. But it was the Wyatts who turned it all around on the Shield by having it 3-on-1 Wyatts against one member of the Shield. They took out the members of the Shield by Bray Wyatt fighting Ambrose to the back. Ambrose got Bray's face. They fought in the crowd, fought all the way to the back. We didn't see Ambrose after that. But then we saw Harper and Warren do a double choke slam move on Rollins on top of the American announce table, on top of that to the Spanish announce table, because the fans wanted tables. They got tables. They wanted Daniel Bryan to win. They didn't get that, but at least we got tables. And we got a hell of a match between Wyatt and Shield. So after Rollins got taken out, and we saw Ambrose got taken out, it was Roman Reigns, the only guy left. Now, we saw how Roman Reigns can do when he's down 1 man against 3, or in Survivor Series, 5 against 1. And we knew the numbers game, Roman Reigns could outnumber it. And he did try his best to outnumber. And boy, he was as physical as ever. Just dominating with big zooming punches coming in for both Harper and Warren. And indeed, was looking like he was going to win the match for the Shield like he did at Survivor Series. 1 man against the wall. It looked like that. But then, as a big move coming, he was going for the spear. He was ready to spear Harper. Not spearing Harper, he was ready to spear Bray after big Superman punches to everybody. The crowd was just going nuts at this point because there's intense action between both these teams. But as the spear was getting set up, Harper got speared instead to set up an ankle move from Bray Wyatt following the spear to Harper, setting up Sister Abigail in the victory for the Wyatts. Very interesting to see the Wyatts. I thought Shield was going to win this one. But see the Wyatts win? That was kind of a surprise to see Wyatts win. But no matter who won, it didn't matter who won. The fans were the victors. There was the only match we won tonight. Because we didn't win the Elimination Chamber match. Kind of. But we won this match with Wyatt and the Shield. Very intense fight. It was just an all-out brawl, man. It was just intense. It was very violent. For being TVPG, being a TVPG fight, it was just intense, violent action. 4.0 for me for this match. It was just intense action between both these guys. It was just smash mouth, bare knuckles in your face action. It was just a brawl. And the Shield kind of carried the match. And I'll give Wyatt's credit. I think the Wyatts, I've never seen them look better than they did tonight. Harper did a big dropkick move. We saw guys actually try to do some wrestling moves for once. Instead of just walking around just punching and kicking people. They actually tried to wrestle tonight. They actually looked the best I've ever seen them. I think the Shield brought out the best in the Wyatts. Serve the Wyatts, bringing the best out of the Shield. That's what a good match should be. Both opponents making the other look good. Wyatts made the Shield look good. Shield made the Wyatts look good. There's a lot of guys, I've said it numerous times. D-Bry, Punk, and Cesaro are guys that can work a good match with anybody. These two guys can make each other look good. Wyatts and Shield. Very intense fight tonight. Fight of the night. Match of the night for me. And for a lot of people who will agree with me on this one. Wyatts and Shield, epic. Probably the only redeeming moment of the pay-per-view tonight. Saving grace of the pay-per-view was Wyatts and Shield. After that, we had a filler match involving AJ against Cameron for the Divas title. Kind of like a filler match, especially with Naomi still out with an injury. I think Naomi was destined or being at least kind of teased for a big push for the title until she got injured in the match against Oksana. And I didn't know that injury was that bad, but it is bad. She hasn't wrestled since. Big injury to her eye. So we have Cameron taking on AJ tonight. A lot of CM Punk chants tonight. Should have known that shit was going to happen. CM Punk chants galore tonight. Not as many as expected, especially during AJ's match. You know, a lot of CM Punk chants. So, this match, it was a filler match. You know, it was okay. The ending was silly. It was kind of a screwy ending. More screwier than the Ronda Rousey ending last night. Anyway, had mentioned UFC. If you didn't see my UFC review, if you don't watch UFC reviewers, well, but if you do watch UFC reviewers, I just didn't like the ending of the main event last night. Well, at least this main event ending was okay. Well, not as screwy. Let me say this. Main event didn't last a minute like Rousey did last night. I'll just say that much. Anyway. So, the ending was kind of screwy. When AJ got kicked accidentally by Tamina, I think that was a botch. I think Tamina was trying to go for Cameron, and Cameron was supposed to duck, but I don't think Cameron was there. You didn't even see Cameron in the shot when AJ got kicked by Tamina. It could build for Tamina turning on AJ if it wasn't a botch. That's kind of a silly ending. It was I know they wanted filler, but come on, this match was just a fill time. That's what this match was. Time filler. So 1.5 for this match. Now on to Batista. Bootista. Come on, WWE. This is when the ranting starts. Like, you're gonna put a guy like they're trying to push Batista, but come on, WWE. Have you listened? You don't listen to the fans. Have you listened to the fans lately, WWE? Oh yeah, you haven't. Did you hear the fans boo the hell out of Batista at the Royal Rumble when he won? Did you hear the fans boo the hell out of Batista tonight? Oh, I hope you have heard the Bootista chant tonight during his match against Del Rio. You know when a push is going wrong when everyone's cheering Del Rio and booing the hell out of Batista. Good job, WWE. You're putting on a guy in the main event who no one wants to see in it. And that's Bootista. So, Del Rio came in with a fake injury. He was trying to get out of the match, and he just suckered Batista in and just nailed him with a clutch. Like I said, this is when the fans start saying, see. But I'll give Del Rio credit for fighting this match. You know, because he probably knew in his heart he was going to lose. But Del Rio did put up a fight. But of course, despite the fans booing him, but Batista did get the victory with the Batista bomb after an insecurity kick attempt by Del Rio. He did get an insecurity kick, but of course, like I said, he got fed to the Batista bomb and 1-2-3 victory for Batista. Come on, WWE. Come on, man. We all know you don't listen to the fans, but you should listen to them, especially when they just boo the hell out of the guy that's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Come on, WWE. You're going to have Batista in the main event of Mania, and the guy who's going to face at Mania was named a woman's body part, which I'll get to as we get to our main event. 1.0 for this match. It was just, we all knew it was going to be a squash. It was a long squash, but still, Del Rio, I'll give him credit, but come on. He just got destroyed by Batista. Batista's trying to look good, and this is Batista's first real match. First real one-on match, because one match, he didn't wrestle anything. He just beat up people. It was his first full match back. He looked like crap tonight. He couldn't move a leg. 4 years away, I can do that to a pussy. Look what I did the last time. But Leslie's trying to come back strong. But anyway. But Batista, come on. Man, 1.0 for this match. Batista needs... I just wish Batista wasn't the main event. I like the guy, but it's just, come on. You don't come back and instantly get a title shot. And make Punk walk out at the same time. But anyway. Now, on the main event. For the Elimination Chamber match. For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was in order of appearance. Sheamus. Cesaro. Those two that fought first. 4 pounds. in order of entry. Daniel Bryan, Christian, the man who is faster than Rey Mysterio, more powerful than a Big Show, able to bury careers and end pushes in a single bound, the most hated man in WWE. Super Cena, John Cena. And last but not least, Pussy! Randy Orton. God, I was like, come on, WWE. I didn't like that tonight. There was some funny spots. One of them, I gotta get it right off the bat. When Orton came in last, everybody knew, Orton knew he was a target. He was like the most wanted man in the match. And he's got his butt whipped through. He tried to lock himself back in the chamber. He closed the doors. He tried to take it out in his pod. And the fans started chanting, "Pussy! Pussy! I love it! He deserves it." Everyone's been hating on Orton lately, but your champion isn't the best choice. The guy you want to be the face and the champion of WWE doesn't deserve to be the face when everyone's calling him a pussy. And I kind of predicted this because I have an instinct. I predict things sometimes. I have an instinct. I've been watching family wrestling all my life, and I kind of have an instinct of when certain spots are going to happen. So when Orton was locked in a cell in his pod, I was like, I bet you Sheamus isn't going to broke the hell out of that pod and get Orton out. That's what he did. He kicked the hell out of it. You saw a lot of crashes into the pods tonight. That's the thing about chamber matches. Since it's not TV 14 anymore, you gotta make it as intense as possible. This chamber match was decent, despite the ending. But anyway, the pods got used big time. The glasses got used. But the main star, the breakout star in this was Cesaro. Cesaro's been looking awesome lately. And he looked absolutely great tonight. He just had a great performance in the chamber match tonight. I still believe, one way down the line, even though he lost to Cena last week, Cesaro will be a champion hopefully one day. It'll get a really big push out of it. He looked excellent in the chamber match tonight. Delivering a Cesaro swing. He almost did it 30 times. Get it? WrestleMania 30. I bet you they told him to do it. Cesaro, we're trying to sell a WWE network to include WrestleMania 30. Do 30 swings tonight. He could do it, but it was an intentional 30 swings because of, WrestleMania 30. Advertising for the network tomorrow in about 8 or 9 hours away. But anywho, there was some decent little spots, which one of my favorite spots was the first elimination. Christian, yes, Christian was in it. There's a lot of rumors about Christian not being in it. Christian was in it. Despite the rumors. Rumors were not true. Anyway, Christian did okay in the matchup. One of my favorite spots was Christian's first elimination. The first elimination was when Christian got on the top rope and did a big frog splash from top of the pod. On top of the pod. He comes on top of the pod. Big frog splash on top of it to Sheamus. And eliminated Sheamus. But Christian would be next eliminated, as he would be taken out by D-Bry with a big flying knee to Christian. So it's down to those four: Cena, Orton, D-Bry, and Cesaro. Cesaro would unfortunately be taken out by an STFU by Cena, which would lead the final three: D-Bry, Orton, and Cena. Like I said, for being a TVPG chamber match, is a decent chamber match. There's decent action with the pods and stuff. But then here comes the Wyatts. Now we've been hearing about the possible Cena-Bray Wyatt match happening at Mania. And we saw the Wyatt family get involved in Cena's matches before, including a match that kind of set up the Wyatts versus the Shield match, when the Shield took on Cena, D-Bry, and Sheamus in a qualifying match for the Chamber on the wall after the Rumble. They kind of, like I said, set up the Wyatt Shield match. Wyatt's got involved in that match. Also, Wyatt screwed Cena at the Rumble pay-per-view. So Wyatt's getting involved in Cena's business, and they did it again tonight as Cena was ready to set up. I think he had the SCFU again on somebody, but then here comes the Wyatts. Just beat the crap out of Cena. And Owen would basically pick up the scraps after Bray did all the damage, and the Wyatts did all the damage. 1-2-3 victory for Owen, eliminating Cena. So Owen and D-Bry would be the last two guys there. Now, Kane came out to the ring to take the Wyatts out. Now, we all knew in our hearts that we want D-Bry to be champion. We want to see D-Bry as champion. But WWE wants to see Kane take on D-Bry. Now, like I said before in my other reviews, since CM Punk left, and CM Punk, at the time of his leaving, CM Punk was feuding with the Authority. And maybe he was going on to probably be in a match with Kane at Mania because of the feud with the Authority. Well, since Punk left, D-Bry not only took Punk's spot as most popular superstar in WWE, but Punk's spot as the person feuding with the Authority was also given to Daniel Bryan. And we've seen Kane, if D-Bry get physical last couple weeks, especially last week on Raw, but we should have known Kane was going to get involved. And unfortunately, he got way too involved in the ending. As D-Bry did all of his efforts, he did try to kick out Kane a few times with the big knees. And did try to take advantage of those distractions with an RKO a few times. And then D-Bry had the opportunity to win the matchup. Big knee. Big one he did on. It looked like he was going to win the title finally. But 1, 2, Kane pulled them out. I should have guessed that shit was going to go down. You know. But then Orton didn't do the RKO. I thought the first RKO he did the D-Bry after Kane distracted D-Bry. I thought the first one was over. But then D-Bry kicked out the first RKO attempt by Orton. But then Kane got back up again after D-Bry took him down. Kane got back up. And after D-Bry attacked Kane again, Kane, big cheap shot, big punch to Orton's opponent, D-Bry. And after that punch from Kane, Orton did the RKO. 1, 2, 3 victory for Randy Orton, retaining the WWE Championship. Look at the faces of the fans after the match. You know the old saying goes, a picture tells a story, and a picture is worth 1,000 words. The looks on the faces of the fans after the Elimination Chamber match, after Orton won, those looks on those fans told the entire story. That everyone's sick of the same old crap. Like everyone's, once again, D-Bry got the biggest pop yet again. But nobody feels that D-Bry doesn't sell merchandise. That he's not he's not a big must seller. That he's not a draw. That D-Bry cannot draw money. That's why D-Bry is being held back. He's popular, fans love him, but it all comes down to what's best for business, of who makes the most money in mush. The Yes Movement, man. Come on, WWE. Listen, you thought the fans were bad at the Royal Rumble? They were almost as bad tonight. Especially the looks on the faces. I will give Cole and King credit to the world that they were telling almost the truth on commentary. Like, D-Bry's got screwed for the last time. Like, his frustration is boiling over. Ours is too. You know? So, 3.0 for the chamber match. It was a decent chamber match. Like, I'm kind of upset that D-Bry got screwed again. I know WWE's got plans, but it's like, the plans what WWE wants are not the plans the fans want. We got 3 things set up from this chamber match. We got Kane and D-Bry's feud kind of solidified by Kane screwing D-Bry out of the title yet again. It's setting up Kane and D-Bry's feud, probably building up for that match at Mania. We saw Cena and Bray Wyatt's feud kind of more intensify as Bray screwed Cena out of the title tonight in the chamber match, which will probably build up for the next couple weeks to make Cena and Bray Wyatt official. And there was on the chamber match with Randy Orton retaining the WWE Championship, or Heavyweight Championship in the chamber match. The reason the main event of Mania is sadly still set as, this is the poster right here, Batista versus the Pussy. Come on, WWE. You're going to put in the main event of WrestleMania the challenger who got booed out the fucking building tonight and even cheated Batista. And he's taking on a man who was called a pussy tonight. Randy Orton. Come on, WWE. Do we, the fans, want to see John Cena and Bray Wyatt? Well, that's the only good thing about tonight. Cena lost again. So, as long as Cena's not in the title picture, it's all fine with me. You know, anything Cena does that's not for the title, that's great for now that's best for business. Cena, not champion at all. Do we want to see Kane versus Daniel Bryan? No. And more importantly, Do we, the fans, want to see Randy Orton against Batista? No! 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 Do we want D-Bry to say fuck the authority and finally win the WWE Championship? Yes! 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 Like I said, I'm not as frustrated as I was at the Rumble match, but I am still as disappointed though. You know? But not as disappointed because at least we had a hell of a match tonight. Shield and Wyatts was excellent tonight. And there was a decent action tonight. But like I said, once again, D-Bry gets screwed. WWE screws the fans yet again by not listening to him. And once again, Birdie on two guys who got booed out the building and chanted pussy. That's your main event of WrestleMania, everybody. By the network. Anyway, that's what WWE's thinking. Like, we screwed you again, but we know you're going to buy the network tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Or whatever time you get up tomorrow morning. So, in the world of DiBiase, everybody's got a price. And that price is $9.99 a month. So there you go. 7.0 pay-per-views. Still great. WYATT+Shield was great, but we'll see what happens in D-Bry and if he can overcome this hump he cannot get through. Can he finally break the glass ceiling? Time will tell. That is it for my review for this evening. I'll thank you all for watching this pay-per-view review. Thank you for watching. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you all so much. Yes! 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 See ya.